That's their motto, like Austin, Texas is. Keep Austin weird. What the heck? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Chicago's the same. We will talk about Obama. I think I just threw up a little. 3,144 counties with a county map, right? So I used to live in this county in Oregon that was shaped something like this. No, it wasn't. I can't draw worth of crap. Big county called Deschutes County, right? And I own some property in Deschutes County. I own some over in Kirk County too. And that was part of it. And a little bit of, I owned a ranch over in Grant County at one time too. So you have all these counties, and you have a piece of property sitting there. And that piece of property is measured from a place up in Portland, up in the West Hills. There's a monument. And all the West Coast is measured from that monument. Okay, and it's all in sections and quarter sections. And you might own just a little piece of it down here, one little piece in a section. That, when they tell you the description of your property, I'm going to say it like this: all property shall be held in land patent. All property shall be passed to heirs in a grant deed. All property shall be described in metes and bounds. Okay? That's the law. That's it. It's pretty simple, right? If I wrote that down on a piece of paper, it's clear, it's concise, it says what it says, and it doesn't say what it doesn't say. It's the law. Now, got a piece of property here at one time. It was called Lot 3 of Block 27 of Spring Hill Subdivision. Who made that shit up? Who made it up? A developer did. Did he have any power to create? Actually, he can call it whatever he wants to call it. But in the legal county recording of the property, it should not be described that way. Because it doesn't describe the property. That's his description for his plot plan and for his information. But the state looks at it like, that's a great way for us to steal the property. Redescribe it. They're not the only ones that redescribe it. The U.S. Postal Service redescribed your property too. They took that same Lot 3 of Block 27 of Spring Hill Subdivision, and they called it something like 2714 Northwest 5th Street. Redmond, O-R capital. Now here's a problem. O-R, capital letters, designates the state of, the corporation of. If you look at definitions, O-R-E period is the abbreviation for the land and soil of Oregon. Don't believe me? Get on your search engines. Look for state of, and just spell it all cap, abbreviations. And you will come up with OR for Oregon. You will come up with TX for Texas, OK for Oklahoma, and so on. ME for Maine, FL for Florida, right? But now look up little letter state of abbreviations. Texas is actually spelled out because it's 5 letters. They can get away with that on a piece of paper. Oregon is O-R-E period. What is Oklahoma? Huh? OKLA. See? Total different set of abbreviations. Well, why would they have that? Different jurisdictions, different things. It's the abbreviation for 2 different things. So you mean OK is not the same as OKLA? Spelled upper and lowercase? OK, I should have said it this way. OK, capital letters isn't the same thing as OKLA, upper and lowercase? No, it's not the same thing. One is the land and soil of this beautiful nation we call Oklahoma. And it's a nation state. It's a separate nation. It's as different from Texas as France is to Italy. It's a different nation. Just united for protections of 18 governmental services and no more. See, and it's the and no more that's so important. Again, always remember that. We didn't agree to pay for Obama loans or Obamacare, giving money away willy-nilly to foreign nations that have nothing to do with us. And we sure as hell didn't vote to leave billions of dollars in high-tech military equipment in Afghanistan. And I don't know about you, but when we leave equipment over there and they can use it against us, we need to go get it back. ISIS was just about done. And in order to restore it, Islam is essentially ISIS now. They gave them all the equipment in the world to defend themselves. Our equipment that we paid for with our blood, sweat, and tears. And I, for one, am pissed at them. Okay. And I'm not going to listen to some idiot who is that treasonous to our home country. And the ones that made that decision, I'll buy the road. All hell. I'm done with that. We have to demand that they incorporate. This is the only way we come out of our OU Babylon. We're commanded to do that. Okay. That little piece of property in that little county, wherever it might be, anywhere in the United States, is held under a land patent. This number represents a land patent in Oregon. They get smaller numbers as you get east. I had the opportunity to see land patent number 71 in Pennsylvania, signed by John Adams. Land patents are so important. This is the actual land patent to that number. This was the posting on the property. This is the land patent signed by our president. Now, Texas, when they rejoined the Union, never ceded their land back to the United States. So none of their land patents are signed by a president of the United States. This is what makes Texas so unique. Their land patents are all held down here in Austin, and they're all under the Republic of Texas. Not under the state of Texas. State of Texas never issued any land patents.
So they own their own
Republic of Texas. Texas owns their own land. Now, Austin's trying to take that over. They can't do it. They'll never do it. See, the nice thing is, the Republic of Texas has always existed continuously since 1836. They like to make you believe that it went away in 1854, but it didn't. It can't ever. And that's why in Texas laws, if you look up like Texas Rules of Procedure, Section 53, it says the Republic of Texas and the state of Texas exists. They have to acknowledge it because it never went away. This is why Texas has a little bit of a leg up, and this is the reason all the other republics can be restored. Had we lost them all, there wouldn't have been much of a chance of them ever being restored. This is why Texas is so important. And other than that pretty lady over there, that's the only reason I moved to Texas. God didn't tell me about Bonnie until he told me to study the history of the Republic. And so I did. And then I called Bonnie, which I didn't know from anyone else. Could have been anybody in the room. Called her on the phone and said, okay, I'll do the Republic of Texas seminar. I had 8 other groups that wanted me to come down there on that same weekend from Texas. 8 other groups I could have went to, or 7 others. There was 8 groups total. 7 others I could have went to. But God said, study history of the Republic of Texas. So I did. So I went to the Republic of Texas meeting and did the seminar. Can you all hear me? I was talking a little low. I'm already feeling my voice starting to go. When we talk about land patents, you will need to post your property. You will need to post your land. You should have a sign like this. Do it right. Do it on a piece of aluminum. Put it in a steel post and bolt it on. Have a permanent sign on your property that says this property is a land patent. And then you'll want to get a nice little no trespassing sign. These are put on out by NARLO, N-A-R-L-O, the National Association of Rural Landowners .org. You can order them on aluminum. I'm not carrying aluminum around with me, so I made one exactly like their aluminum signs. And laminated it so I can take it around for all these seminars. Post your property. Post it well. You know what this says? So that they come on this property, they face 10 years, $10,000 penalty and up to 5 years in jail. Every government official that steps on a land patent property, if it's posted where they have notice, everything is about putting them on notice, you guys. Keep that in mind. Everything we do, we've got to notice them. They have to notice us too. They don't always, but they're supposed to. Okay? Got to do things right. So this puts them on notice. It's a great no trespassing sign. I'll tell you a quick little story. Back in 2009, I had a pretty good sized ranch. It actually contained 9 land patented pieces of property on it. It's 3,362 acres. And I was restoring the land patents on the property. And I was teaching a little weekly group in my hometown about the law and about the same kind of things that I talk about now. And I went to this weekly class, had about 20 people in the room, And I was talking to him about I'm putting my property in land patent, and I'm almost done. And I've got it figured out. And one of the guys in the room, he goes, I heard there's another guy down in Southern Oregon, and his name is Tom, and he's putting his property in land patent. You guys ought to cooperate, he says. I said, man, that'd be great. I'd love to get another, eye to look at my paperwork, and I'd love to have help. I got to go find this Tom. So I get off work early on a Friday. I drive 4 hours down to Grants Pass, Oregon, where Tom is supposed to live. And I start trying to find Tom.